In fact, the last funding round was last year, and the community has been on recess, trying to bring out a lot of new things, new things, new things. Now, these are some new things we should expect this time around. Proposal submission open next week. In fact, it's already opened. That was last week, and this is the announcement. That's the landing page. Project app.projectata.io. We'll look at that very soon. No more reviews. For now, reviews hasn't started. The voting wouldn't also start until the Cardano directs, we call them delegated representatives, until they give approval for the money to be withdrawn for all proposals to get their funding. No funding decisions until the reps approve from the community. 20 million available for grabs. 20 million ADA. In fact, if you convert it, that's around $14 million. 14 to 50 million US dollars available for. Imagine 1 million. I have a friend who always tells me I need 1 million, 1 million US, 50 million. What 15, approximately 50 million US dollars available for this kind of round. And it's going to run for thrice. So this particular funding round will get at least, this particular year, even Fund 15 will also be the same budget as well as Fund 16. So 20 million. And these are the categories that are going to happen. Cardano Open ecosystem, that's the category. And this is where most of us actually participate in. In fact, some of the past projects that we have done in Ghana here came from this category. It is a non-technical category, ecosystem. And basically, they are looking for people that want to drive ecosystem growth. You want to educate people. You want to create content. You want to be an educator. You want to use media, TV, radio, and just bring grassroots. Or you want to just form a community of young guys or people, community of entrepreneurs, so that you discuss Cardano. There's 3 million ADA available, and you can have a budget up to 60,000 for a proposal. 60,000 can be up to 60,000, so maximum of 16, and not up to 60,000 ADA for your proposal. It should be developer. It should be community engagement. It should be what? Grassroots growth and marketing, education programs. You need to clearly outline your goals, design for new Cardano communities. And the don'ts are no software or hardware development, because it's non-technical, it's ecosystem growth. So this particular category, we are not looking about coding, we are not looking about software development. No vague or relevant value, and no clear targets. There should be clear targets. What do you want to achieve for the ecosystem? What do you want to bring? In fact, there are several templates, proposal templates you can look at or pass. Developers, as the name implies, you want to build any dev here, we call them devs. You want to create decentralized applications. You want to bring developer-friendly tooling to access Cardano. And one thing about Cardano is that open source. If I say open source software, open source basically allows everyone to take the software or take whatever you have built and make improvement to it. So that's basically what open source tooling is, or open source software is. So anything you are bringing into Cardano, that requires what? Software development. It should be open source. Clearly statement of your open source license. So you need to know some of the licensing tools you are using to make your development open source. High quality documentation. And it shouldn't just be what? This one, we are not talking about the non-technical aspects. It shouldn't be no info only websites. You just bring info. The website is just, let's say, an info only. It doesn't really have much to use. It wouldn't be able to pass through. So these are some of the do's and don'ts that you need to take care of. The funding guide will explain more on that. Now, concepts. For 4 million ADA is available, and it talks about early stage ideas to deliver proof of concept, design research and basic prototyping through to MVP innovation, Cardano-based products, services, and business models. So submissions that are building new features to existing prototypes must include evidence of prototyping. So you want to build a solution. This is also still under like the devs, because they are looking for products. So either a minimum viable product, MVP, or a prototype, so that once you get the money, it comes to life. Assuming you want to build a tracking technology, which is going to be something like this, maybe if you have this device or if you have this thing as part of a particular good. Let's say you are moving a vehicle and you put this by the vehicle, the technology blockchain space can track it. Everyone in the blockchain space will be able to know the location of the vehicle or the asset. You need to know how you are going to build it. So you just have to do a test, like a demo. So in your proposal, it should be a demo for everyone to see. And then you put the money that you are looking for. That can help bring the product to life. The engineering, what will go into the engineering, the development. If you are buying or assembling certain tools and resources, you need to cost them and break them down. Now, this is another category, partners category. So for partners, we are looking at 8,500,000 available, and it's for entities. So Ummy Relief, this is where I want you guys to come in. Abdurrashid, partners category, those that are legally registered and operating in their countries, they can submit proposals and talk about how they will make Cardano grow, and strategic enterprise collaborations to deliver real-world utility and high-value transactions. So if you have farming, you want to build a solution that will help in your farming activities. You want to have a platform where you can easily communicate with farmers. You want to have a solution where you can track product from the farm to the user or to the consumer. These are things you will just need to think about, and then you bring solutions around it, either livestock or crop farming. And that's for the partners and products category. Now, some changes. You have maximum of 6 proposals. So I need you to, I cannot propose beyond 6 proposals. You can write even up to 10, up to 5, 4, 1, 2, but mostly 1, 1. Because the energy to even write 2, 3, but you can go up to 6. If you submit more than 7 or more than 6, they take the first 6 submitted proposals. There's going to be quadratic voting now, so that there will be fairness in the voting process. There will be fairness in the voting process. Because over the past rounds, you will realize that some particular entity can just come with billions of ADA and vote on proposals, and that those proposals that have been voted on will have higher chances of getting funding. But this is a new step to make sure that the voting becomes free and fair. Community review model now replaces IdeaScale. So previously, we used to have a third-party platform called IdeaScale. That was where Project Catalyst was being hosted on. But now, this is even a practical use case of Web3. Right now, the Catalyst community will now own its own platform, and they can use it to be able to host the Project Catalyst experiment. Must be submitted via the Catalyst app, and that's a new platform. We'll look at that shortly. For full rundown, this is a guide. Please always read guidelines. Even the proposals, before you submit, read guidelines. There are templates. There are several documents available for you to read and get the understanding in order to participate. Keychain is a demo. We'll look at that very soon. It's very important. You need to have a keychain, get your recovery phrases, your passwords and logins, your emails. Those of us, if we have issues with keeping passwords, please, let's try to find a way of writing them down and keeping them safely. Yes, you can screenshot, but a lot of us like screenshot, but it's not really good to screenshot passwords. You need to write them down physically and keep it somewhere, especially in the blockchain. Every wallet has recovery phrase. All decentralized wallets and not centralized wallets, decentralized wallets, DEXs and not SEXs, they use key phrases, 15 words, 12 words, 24 words. You need to write all these words down and keep it somewhere safe, so that if you want to restore your wallet onto a different device, you travel out, or the unfortunate happening, they want to access your wallet, they just use the recovery phrase and access it. So you write them down, write your spending pin and spending passwords down in order to safeguard your wallet. But for me, in the space too, we have what we call KYC, know your customer. KYC is very important. For those of you who are familiar with airdrops and giveaways, KYC, mostly they do that. Before they allow you, they distribute the tokens, you need to pass the know your customer process before they can distribute the token to you. Now, the timelines and resources, Fund14 timelines. Announcement was done July 21, and July 23, the fund was launched. Submission window has been opened from July 28th, and then the deadline is August 18th. And that's why I wanted to just really come and meet you guys, because the time is running. Today is 9th, right? Today is 9th, so we have few days away. Next week, the portal will be locked for submissions. Now, reviewer registration also started, and it's also closing next week, August 18th. If you don't register until 18th, unless there's an extension, but it's highly impossible, we won't be able to register. And the community review will start from August 22nd to September 19th. Then from that, we come to the voting period, September 22nd to October 6th. Voting will be done by all wallets that have registered to vote. And then we have our voting results. So by October 6th, proposers will know which of them will get funding from the ecosystem. And then by October, November, the new projects will be onboarded to start work, to start implementing their ideas. So this is a timeline. Let's take notes. You see how this is very August 18th, 6 a.m. 6 a.m. is very early. Previously, it used to be 11 a.m. the deadlines, but now it's 6 a.m. So if you don't finish all your things on the August 17th, the next day, if you have hope for the next day, 18th, 6 a.m. may just surprise you. Now, this is a timeline for reviewer registration. So also ends, those of us who want to do community review, also ends on August 18th. And the review period for level 01 will start August 22nd. So once they finish proposing, August 22nd, review will start, and that's when the work starts. And by September 5th, you can no longer review. So if you are allocated 30 proposals, you have to make sure you assess them, you review them in time for you to be able to progress. And this is a voter timeline too. Voter snapshot. So all wallets that have registered to vote, they will take a snapshot of that. So by September 6th, 9:45 p.m., the snapshot basically is to conclude on all those that have registered to vote, and then determine on the amount that you have currently. As at the point of snapshot, assuming you have, today is September 6th, and you have 100 ADA in your wallet, by 9:45 p.m., you need, if you want to have, let's say, 1,000 ADA to vote on proposals, you need to add the remaining 900 ADA by 9:45. Otherwise, after 9:45 p.m., when the snapshot is taken, the amount that was just on your wallet, that will be your voting power. I don't know if we get it. So you need to make sure that all the amount that you need to vote with should all be available in your wallet before the snapshot. And right after the snapshot, you can withdraw. So some people, it's a strategy for them. Even if they want to buy, like if they have money somewhere, or they want to take some loans, you want to borrow, which is not really advisable. Let's say you want to sell something and buy ADA to vote. So you just buy, sell them, buy ADA, and then you withdraw. Immediately after the snapshot, you can withdraw. And if you withdraw the funds, you're still intact. The amount that they snapshotted will still be your voting power. And you can withdraw any money that you want to spend. So if you want to withdraw, go and sell again and buy whatever you sold for that. This is a fun guide. You can quickly scan, if you have your mobile phones, QR scanners, QR code scanner, you can scan the QR for the fun guide. Every Fund14 comes with the guide, and there are more details. In fact, I can even share that with you on WhatsApp, but you can just scan the QR to get the fun guide for more information regarding the proposing stages, the community review processes, and all that. And that brings me to the end of the session for Project Catalyst. And this is an interactive map. If you want to stay in touch on Telegram, Cardano Ghana Official, you can just say Telegram and join the Cardano Ghana Official group. On X, Cardano Ghana, and on LinkedIn too. I think we are not on LinkedIn yet. Now, let's take notes. Every Wednesday, 3 p.m., the Catalyst community meets globally on Zoom, X, and YouTube. So, in fact, I'll share, once you join our Telegram group, I'll share those details. Every Wednesday, 3 p.m., the community meets to discuss what is happening in the ecosystem, and it's mostly virtual online. So either you are at the workplace, you are just riding, you are driving, you can put in your headset and monitor what is happening in the ecosystem. And this is the end of my slide. Thank you very much.